So welcome to the Node.js Next 10 team meeting for July 11th, 2025. We'll follow our standard approach of going through the issue that was open for the agenda, which was issue number 348. If everybody could add themselves to the agenda's attendees, that would be great. I'm just going to post that in the link. Any announcements before we jump into the agenda?
I guess it's worth mentioning that the Next 10 survey has finished, and I think it went pretty well. So,
Yeah, thank you for everybody who filled it out. Okay, good. So let's go to the agenda. So the first one, the funding for Node.js project status updates. I think that one, I suggest we at least take off the agenda because I don't know that there's going to be any update anytime soon. I'm not really quite sure how to move that forward or what we're going to be able to do on that front. So I think I'll just take it off the agenda and that way it won't keep coming up. That makes sense to everybody. Okay, so that actually takes us to the survey, but like maybe we can loop back to that one at the end and talk about next steps. Okay, so set of
yep.
base questions for collaborators. I think we're still waiting on John for a little bit of clarification on that one, right? So maybe I'll ask, maybe I'll put in the comments, say Jean, could you add a bit more context about the purpose of the questions, and then back to the agenda. So I think with that, I'll remove it for the agenda because I think again, until we get a little bit more context, I think we haven't quite known what to discuss in that. So do that. Okay, commenting. The follow-on from the discussion survey, Perpin Diagnostics, it's kind of a reminder that we should do something, but I don't think we have, so I'm gonna say no update. Fine. And then the corporate node usage stories. I don't think there's any update on that either at this time. So with that, we could loop back to the survey. And I guess it's kind of figuring out what the next steps are, right? Like typically we'd need to go through and do some cleaning up to make sure that there's no like information that's we wouldn't want shared because it's, I don't know, like people are swearing or or whatever, stuff like that. So clean up pass. I don't know, Marco, any other thoughts of what we would do next beyond that?
No, I think like the usual, we go through the answer. We group all the like open questions, moderate them, see if there is any content that should not be there, and
Yep.
yeah.
So okay, so I mean, I think the grouping and sorting and stuff we could do once we've done the cleanup, but maybe we could say like, okay, let's close the public meeting and then we could use the rest of the meeting to start going through the docs for the cleanup. Does that make sense? Or what do you think is a good way to?
So I would like Either we do that or we can do that offline. Like we do it, we prepare the open question for the next meeting, and in this meeting we go through the non open-ended
Sure.
questions.
Okay, that makes sense to me. You want to lead us through those?
Um, it would be better if you share your screen because I'm in a hotel and my
Okay,
Wi-Fi is quite bad.
sure. Let me remember. They were in email, right? I know okay, so. Okay, so there's the slide deck with the, do you want to start by going through that or through the? I think that's a little bit of a summary, but maybe we start with that and then we can dig into the more detailed one if so.
Okay.
So okay, so the first one, where do you live? I don't think I have too much to say other than it looks like a pretty good representation of countries. I guess the question is there like any major country we think is missing or surprised that we don't see there?
No, I think it's um, like as expected.
Yeah. Okay. I think this was a new language here, so I'm sorry, a new question. Actually, the other is quite interesting. I'm going to sort. Can I sort this? Sheets. I create a new copy, so whatever I do doesn't mess up the original. So just give me a sec. So sort. Okay, so I'm just looking through and so in the language. Okay. Let's say notes.
Is there anything interesting in the other?
Yeah, I was just sorting. So like the first one that's in other is Arabic seems to be the top one.
But that should be in like the
I see Arabic. Oh no, wait a sec. Okay, so maybe that's not it. So sorry, I'm looking at the wrong column. This is the right in. Okay, sorry, I think I need to sort on this column. Okay, so this is yeah. Windows is resizing my windows not in a useful way. So I guess to find the maximum ones, we would need to I'm just looking through like Armenia, there's 4 or 5. Bangladesh seems to be like 20. India, there's quite a few. Bulgaria, Czechia, Denmark.
Okay, but all minor, like let's say small groups of languages that we probably should include next year in the.
Yeah, I'm just sort of scrolling through to see. Poland seems to be like 20 to 30. It's one of the larger ones, but yeah, I'm just looking to see if there's any. Yeah, there's a bunch of ones where like it looks like there's like 20 to 30 write-ins. Although like China seems to be one where that might be covered by Chinese, but sorry, I'm still going through because there's a lot. I think if I'm looking at the, am I? Still trying to. Okay, wait a second. Is this? Primary language. So what is other? Please specify. Maybe this is, sorry, maybe I'm looking at the wrong column again still. I think we're gonna have to look a little more carefully because the others. It's almost like it's not, is it a separate column or not?
It is maybe like formatted.
No, okay, sorry, I I think I found it. So yeah, like no no major surprises in there.
Okay.
I think like, yeah, there's a few that are a little bit bigger, but we can add in something, but no major surprises. It's just that it's, I think the one surprise is that there were 738, there was that many others, so.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Because that is quite a few in terms of the overall, but okay. So we can go through and we can pick some additional ones to put in, it seems like there.
Okay.
How long have you been using Node? So average of 5 years. I don't remember what last year was.
I don't know if we had this question last year.
Let me just take a look. We can look in the surveys 2024 9. This one. No, sorry, I'm going back. It's interesting. Last year, the average number was 6.
Um,
But I mean, we have more respondents and different respondents. So I'm not sure what that tells us other than maybe we got a little bit different mix this year.
or maybe that new people joined.
Yeah, like we certainly got more people, right? So
Like more new users
yeah,
could mean like I mean it's impossible to say for sure, but like if you have more new users,
yep,
then the average would be lower,
yeah.
but still be a good sign, or that some users stopped using Node, but like it's quite hard to tell.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could look at, we do have, that one is there is a mix, so we can look at the mix. I think the thing though here is it's not like we're all new users who took the survey are all old users, right? Like 5 is not is a reasonable average, so hopefully that means, and 6 was a reasonable average last year, that like hopefully this gives us the survey gives us information kind of in general, right? Like we're not only getting one group or they're not. What type of organization? So well, I guess half the respondents were from like a sort of what we grouped in
Companies.
company. Yep.
Then the next question is the breakdown for companies in which field operate. But I like from this chart we can see that academia is strong with Node, and also like freelancers.
Yeah. So here, yeah, this is the next one that says kind of say what kind of businesses.
IT, financials, uh, some agricultural, some energy. Like it's just like IT, it's the bigger, but I mean there is a little bit of everything.
Yeah, let me just see if other, is this the, let me see. I guess like I think I've got the other here. It seems like education is a fairly big one.
Okay.
I guess we didn't really have an NA on this one, did we?
No, I don't think we did.
So it might be that like if you weren't worth a company, we didn't really give you a place to say nothing.
Oh, right.
Okay, let me take a note on that. Um, Company. So this is sector large number of others. We did not provide an option.
I also added the other to the language section about perhaps grouping the most occurring languages. Do you think it makes sense to this sector as well?
Sorry, say that again.
Yeah, about like the second most responses was other as
Yeah,
well
yep.
to the company question. Maybe also grouping that and adding as um, options for the next year as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, that's good comment to have there. Because we should do that. Find the largest ones and at least add them.
Cool.
I mean, financials is interesting, being like 10%. Obviously shows that that's outside of information technology. That's one of the largest.
Yeah.
I would tend to say like, okay, like that kind of gives, well, yeah, it's just interesting. It seems, again, it's good to see like responses from a bunch of the different, industries. I'm just looking to see other ones that sort of, a mix, like entertainment, education, e-commerce were ones that showed up more than like larger numbers in the others.
Um, yeah, it's financials is interesting, but because I mean it's the like compared to the other is like the one that most like it's more modern in a way than others, so it makes sense that they use Node a little bit more than, for example, materials or energy, because it's more.
Yeah, or they're more, yeah, like I think they tend to have bigger IT shops and stuff like that. I guess we might as well keep going. We can kind of loop back. I think talk about like any particular things that stand out, the number of employees. So average is 350, which is fairly good size. I'm just gonna see if I can sort based on sort.
Okay, that's surprising though.
It's kind of interesting in that the like I think we only allowed 1,000 and above, right? Because I don't think it was a write-in number.
Yeah, it's 1,000 and above or 10,000. I don't remember.
Yeah. Is this the right? Right, so this is okay. I mean, there seems to be a bunch of zeros. 217 zeros.
Oh yeah, because if people are self-employed or they
Right,
are
okay.
like what do you say, freelancers or unemployed, zero. But we should make this optional probably.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like only show up if it was part, if you clicked company or something, right? So if I have, what's the following, right? I think I've got the right column. That's interesting because there are sorts of like, if I got the right column, they're basically all sorts of numbers. Like 21, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Somehow I thought we'd had a, doesn't really make sense to me. Here, we get the questions from the survey. Surveys do we have we appeared in the question somewhere, didn't we? Just looking for maybe we had it in the.
Hmm.
Nope, I'm looking for. Maybe pull requests, sorry. They survey 2025. Maybe we didn't land it. Looking here, files. Want a beautiful file. Come on. Yeah, I don't quite get the, says, what is the number of employees, members of the organizations you're part of? Single choice, because it says 1 to 9, 10 to 99, but the numbers seem to be not that.
Do you think this, like the number that we got, 300 something, is it valuable? Like, what does it tell us? That big companies use Node, or that?
Well, I think that like looking at the breakdown a little bit, right? Like would be kind of interesting versus just the average necessarily. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if they were all small companies, that would be interesting versus all huge companies or. But I don't quite understand the data, to be honest, because unless I've got the wrong column, like it tops out at 1,000, but like there's numbers in between, so I don't know how like we would get 50. Okay, maybe,
I
maybe.
guess this probably needs like a chart, a bar chart with all the single answers,
Yeah,
and
I
then we
think that
see
that would be
like the
better.
curve
Yeah,
of the bar chart, and we
yeah,
like that would be more valuable.
sure. Do that. Yeah. So yeah, so I agree with that. Which best
Okay.
reflects your role.
Full stack, backend, front end, tooling. It's fun that more than 10%
I know
wrote
that is,
Node Core
yeah.
maintainer. So that would mean 400 core maintainers. I don't know about that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, it's, well, we total responses. Well, actually, there's got to be that one was pretty well filled out, but you're right. Like, how does that make sense that it was that high? That's worth looking at.
It is just like just core maintainers or contributors at all. The question, the answer itself. Like after the ellipses, developers ellipses, or it is like
Let me grab the PR. One second. We should probably merge the PR, the survey PR. But
Yeah, we should. Developers
core,
working directly on Node.js, individuals participating in working groups.
yeah, 400 is still too
It's
much. I
still
don't think
high,
it's,
yeah.
yeah. Probably we should, like, we could remove it because, like, we already know the number of core maintainers because, like, collaborators are on a GitHub team. So I think we can drop this one.
Yeah, I would also, like, if we were getting a few hundred responses to the survey, it would be nice to eliminate, like, know what percentage were the core maintainers, but like, given 4,000, we know that that's probably a small, should be less than 10% anymore, or less.
Yeah,
But I guess like for this
definitely.
one, it gives us, like, we did get a pretty broad representation across like back end, front end.
Yes.
Even some, like, it says 20% direct end users, 30% package maintainers. So like nice mix of people.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does your organization invest in Node.js? None of the above. So like that's
High skip rate.
yeah. But from those who answered, it was still 60% that said none of the above. And this one I would argue, I bet you a lot of the skips was none of the above as well, because if you did sponsor and did know about it, you would likely fill it out, would be more likely to fill it out. So
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I think this one was more for marketing to let people know there are ways you can sponsor Node rather than like I don't know. I think this one is worth keeping even though it has a high skip rate just because
oh,
it's
absolutely. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. I don't even think like, okay, yeah, it was a high skip rate. We still got 2,300 people who answered it, right? Like that's, it's worth knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a high skip rate, but yeah, I totally agree that it's an interesting, like it basically says only 10% of those who answered, actually time to work. And see, what was the other one?
It's funny because it's 500 sponsors your time, and we have 400 that were core maintainers on the
Yeah.
previous one.
Well, sponsors your time. So there's to work in Node.js, sponsors your time to work in the Node.js project. So that's 58. So yeah, sponsors your time. So it says 15%. Yeah, so it's interesting. It'd be, yeah, sometimes to work, sponsor your time to work in JavaScript project package ecosystem. Here, I want to look and see if I can figure out the other.
Not many, less than probably 5%. So
Yeah, I'm just wondering what it is.
yeah.
So this is. It's not. Oh. Okay, those others. It's like a bunch of I don't knows. Some others. So sponsoring JavaScript node conferences.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
that was a couple write-in ones. So that one I think is worth noting, right?
Yep, agreed.
How does organization sponsor in other sponsors? Because yeah, that one, and I suspect if it had been on the list, we might have gotten a few people people mentioning that. Okay, well, it's worth us looking through like those anyway. But yeah, that's the only thing that kind of like jumps out at me looking at the spreadsheet itself. And I guess the other one is standards participation.
Oh, standards. Okay. Yeah, like winter TC, it's called nowadays, or TC39.
Okay, I'm gonna have to drop off, so you two could continue if you want, but I'll have to make one of you the owners.
Oh, I think we can continue next time.
Okay.
We're not in
Sounds good. So why don't we just go through this last one and then we can close it.
Okay. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Primary use case.
Full stack development and development of APIs with microservices, and then everything else.
Yeah, and kind of development of APIs with others. So that's kind of like APIs, microservices is a big one. Full stack development is a big one.
What are the other? Do we have something good there?
Okay, let's take a note here. Large. Okay, primary use case. API development. Full stack. And then, okay. This one's sort of. There's a few everythings. There's a few front end.
Oh.
Did we have front end? Just
Yeah. We have tooling to use to build front end.
yeah, okay. Let's see, websites, web apps, poking around. Blockchain banking. Foreign language testing, front-end APIs. Full stack development without a full stack framework.
Mm.
But not too many. There's like 70, so it's.
Yeah, we can keep it as it is, probably.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess at this point I've got to drop off, so maybe we can close out for this week and we can continue to look at some of the responses next time. And if people do have a chance to start to look at the write-in ones, so we can do sort of a cleaning pass, that would be great. I guess we'll talk to everybody next time.
See you. Bye bye.
Sounds good.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.